This is Launching Your Daughter podcast, and I'm your host, Nicole Burgess, licensed marriage and family therapist. The information shared in this podcast is not a substitute for seeking help from a licensed mental health professional. Now, here is today's episode. Episode 9. Welcome. Today's episode is going to be a little different than my recent releases. For the next 10 minutes or so, I want to talk about empowering our teen girls in managing their money. Here's the disclaimer though. Today's episode is not about financial advice, but gaining an understanding of your family beliefs around money and how to help set your daughter up to succeed in managing her money. I recommend speaking to an accountant or financial advisor for specific advice on financial planning. At the time of this recording, it is summer, and many teenagers have part-time jobs. If you haven't been talking about why it's important to save or have a budget, now is the time. Ideally, teaching your daughter from an early age about money management is helpful, but if you haven't, it's okay. When I was in high school, we had a money management class we had to take, and we were taught some basic skills such as writing a check. I know not every school has this type of class anymore, which is why I think it's important for parents to help build these skills with their daughters. Saving money was also discussed often in my family due to my grandparents going through the Depression, and my parents were taught to live within their means. Basically, don't spend more than what you make and keep your living expenses below your earnings. You can check out one of the resources, High School Financial Planning Program, at www.hsfpp.org to see if they're in your area and can do a program at your daughter's school. Whether your daughter receives an allowance or is earning money from a part-time job, creating a budget is important. You can help her set up specific percentages of what is saved, what gets spent, and how much is to be given to a charitable contribution of her choice. For example, she saves 50%, can spend 40%, and gives to charities 10%. This may be a good time for her to set up a savings and a checking account at a bank. Set up a family meeting to discuss money management and creating a budget. If you want to learn more about family meetings and why they're important, please listen to episode 2. You can use a spreadsheet software like Excel or Numbers, or just use paper and pencil to begin. Then, schedule a time weekly to review where she is and how she's doing on updating her budget. This step helps create consistency in learning a new skill and forming a new habit. It also helps with her being accountable for her behaviors and standing in her truth about spending or saving. In her budget, have her write down her income after taxes. On separate lines, put down her fixed or variable expenses or items she is saving for, such as car insurance, gas money, etc. If you follow Dave Ramsey's philosophy, then at the end you will end up with zero for a total because you have allocated the money to specific places. Otherwise, if you have money left over for the total, meaning income minus expenses, then she can save it or spend it. For example, your daughter brings home $100 after federal and state taxes, that is, if you live in a state with income taxes. She is to save 50% of the $100, which leaves her $50. She is allowed to spend 40% of the $100, which is $40, and give to a charity of her choice 10%, which is $10. These percentages are just examples, so feel free to adjust them or have her save some for taxes at the end of the year. Of the $50 saved, let's say she needs to pay $25 per month for car insurance. She puts $25 toward future college expenses, and the remainder is for an emergency fund. If she's paid every other week, by the end of the month, she'll have the $25 saved for car insurance, $50 towards college expenses, and $25 for her emergency fund. Of the $40 or $80 per month she is allowed to spend, she can go to the movies, pay for gas, for the car, or whatever. But if she spends all the money, she can't borrow it from her savings unless it is an emergency. For example, if she was saving $25 per month toward that, paying her car insurance, and she was at the end of the month, but had not only spent her $80 spending money, plus her $25 allocated for the car insurance, she may not get to use the car because she can't afford the car insurance coverage. This creates a beautiful teaching moment because you can show her compassion in her choices and have dialogue about her current choices impact future options. Not spending money now gets her closer to her long-term goals. Teaching your daughter how to save for a car versus impulse buying allows her to learn managing her money when she's an adult. Having dialogue about future expectations is critical for both you parents and your teenager. To assist in her succeeding as an adult and not struggling with debt is to begin talking about expectations around college tuition, car buying, car insurance, cell phones, paying for cell phone plans, and more. Oftentimes, the teen girls I work with don't understand how much an item costs or how long it takes to save up the money for a specific item. I know many parents with great intentions are paying for everything for their daughters, yet it isn't helping them in the long term. I'm not saying you can't buy them things, but teaching them to be financially savvy gives them a more solid foundation for future endeavors. Another area to consider or talk about during a family is your beliefs around money. What were you taught about money growing up? Did you hear we don't have enough, or money doesn't grow on trees, or why save? We'll just figure it out later. Whatever you were taught, it can be unlearned by bringing more awareness to the belief and challenging it. Does money in the bank make you feel more safe and secure or give you a sense of freedom? All of this affects how you role model it and communicate it to your daughter. Our teens are bombarded with advertisements through social media, TV, internet, and movies. Helping them become critical thinkers and more aware of the power of persuasion not only can positively impact them financially, but health-wise. There are many good books on helping create money-wise children, from Dave Ramsey to Susie Orman and more. Today's episode is just a brief overview to begin a dialogue with your daughter about money and empowering her to become a financial whiz and adult. In some of my upcoming episodes, I talk with Rebecca Wong about why play is so important in parenting couples, and with Dr. Nazanin Moali's warning signs of a possible eating disorder with your daughter. If you like this episode, I invite you to subscribe on iTunes to receive the weekly updates. This podcast is also available on Stitcher and Google Play. Or you can go to launchingyourdaughter.com to listen. Thank you so much, and I hope you found this helpful. Thank you for listening to Launching Your Daughter with Nicole Burgess, licensed marriage and family therapist. For more information or to stay up to date, go to launchingyourdaughter.com. You can sign up for my email list or join my Facebook group. Thank you.